The poor girl had only run a few steps, when the cold air instantly turned her into an ice sculpture, forever frozen at the age of 18. On the other side, the boy who was surfing, was anxiously swimming back. The blue cold air came rolling in like a tidal wave, instantly freezing the surfing boy into an ice sculpture. Seeing the cold air already drifting to the shore, Jack rushed for his life with his daughter, but the cold air behind them, after reaching the shore, spread very rapidly. The father and daughter hurriedly ran into the pickup truck. Jack swiftly turned the vehicle around, flooring the gas pedal. At the last moment before the cold air caught up, they narrowly escaped its pursuit. During their escape, Jack contacted his friend at the warning department again. Tell him his prediction was correct. The terrifying cold air had reached the beach. Just moments ago 2 students had already perished, and this massive cold air was approaching the city at an alarming speed. On the other end, his friend, upon learning the situation, immediately reported to his superiors. At this time, the cold air continued to spread rapidly, its speed almost matching that of a car. The anxious Jack quickly called his wife, telling them to hurry and hide indoors, light fires for warmth, wear as many layers as possible, and absolutely not go outside. Whether they could survive this crisis, no one knew. Soon after the National Weather Service received the news, they realized the severity of the situation, and immediately contacted all television stations, issuing an emergency cold wave warning nationwide. The director of the Weather Bureau also received notification. By now the reality of the cold air had been confirmed. The director prepared to convene an emergency meeting, to take effective measures against the approaching cold air. The secretary suggested involving Jack. The director flatly refused. He believed the meteorological experts he hired were certainly better than Jack. Meanwhile, all television stations had issued emergency notices. The cold air was imminent, requiring everyone to take preventive measures. People who were outside enjoying themselves were frightened into rushing home. They sealed their windows with wooden boards and stayed indoors, no longer venturing outside. Students at schools were immediately evacuated. Many citizens began to panic, frantically buying emergency supplies at supermarkets. Products that hadn't sold in years were gone within minutes as citizens grabbed everything. Anything that could provide warmth became a hot commodity. Just as people were racing against time to prepare for survival, the city's alarm was immediately sounded. The cold air was spreading too quickly. In no time it had reached the coastal city. Residents who couldn't evacuate in time were terrified. There was simply no escape. Wherever the strong cold wind reached, 100-meter buildings were instantly frozen. The speed of the cold wind invasion was clearly much faster than people had anticipated. Many people who had just left the supermarket with supplies hadn't had time to return home, as the cold air swept in behind them. Everyone desperately knocked on nearby glass doors, but the store owner didn't dare open the door. He could only watch helplessly, as everyone froze to death outside. Finally the owner turned on the music.